Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through the books that I read and the films and TV shows that I watched in February. Let's get into it. So the first things I'm going to talk about are the books that I'm currently reading. So I haven't finished them just yet, or I won't be finishing them for a little while. First up is the Poetic Edda, which is like an ancient Norse text about the Norse gods like Odin, Thor, all of that kind of thing, but it's also like wisdom and sayings and sagas and adventures. So far I've read the Seer's Prophecy, or Seeress's Prophecy, and I'm currently reading through the sayings of the High One, which if you look, it's just like kind of 4 lines in verses, and it's just all about like wisdom. And yeah, some of it's really quite interesting. Some of the sayings feel like they're still relevant today and that we're still using like these sort of affirmations in life, which is interesting. Like, this is over 1,000 years old. Crazy. And then the other text I'm not a scholar. The other book that I'm currently reading is Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, Book 1, Eye of the World. I am slowly making my way through this. I am on chapter 11 currently. I am going to try and read this a bit more often. Like, I was going to try and like finish it in a week, but I don't know. It's quite a chunky one. Yeah, so I'm going to try and read like a chapter a day. I don't know how many chapters there are. Oh Jesus. Maybe I won't. Or maybe I'll read 2 chapters a day, but there's like 50 something chapters. And I'm also currently reading The Wind-Up Bird by Haruki Murakami. I still haven't picked it up, and I don't know why or how long it's been since I last picked it up. I do this for some reason. Like, I'm enjoying reading the book, but I just haven't picked it up in weeks. Maybe in March I'll finish it. Who knows? But I probably won't. Anyway, on to the books that I have finished in this month. It's only really 2. One was a romance novel, because I thought, you know what, it's February, it's the month of love, and I regret reading it so much. Well Met by Jen DeLuca. So the premise of it is like this woman has to help take care of her older sister who had a car accident or something. So she moves to a small town and helps out with her older sister's daughter, and gets involved in like this town's Renaissance fair, which I thought sounded quite cute. And then obviously like she has this sort of rivalry, I don't know how to say it, but basically it felt like it was supposed to be like a enemies to lovers sort of trope, but it was just a bit naff, to be honest. There was so much repetition and it didn't really feel like enemies to lovers. Like, the guy that she didn't like was quite annoying, and then suddenly he was nice. And it was just really quite shit. And I thought, you know what, like, let's try and read something out of the usual stuff I read. And maybe that's just evidence to stick to what you know. Because otherwise you'll read something, waste all that time, not really enjoy it. I mean, I could have just not finished it, DNF'd it. But I'm stubborn like that. I have to see things through just in case. Quite often, but maybe that's also a case for the future. If you're not enjoying it, just don't read it. So there's a lesson for everyone in that. And then the other thing that I read this month was a comic book, or it's like a compilation, which is the Critical Role Vox Machina Origins. So the main reason why I watched this, picked this up and read it, is because I watched and really freaking loved The Legend of Vox Machina, which is like this animated TV show based on Critical Role's first campaign that they like streamed, which weirdly I started watching the live streams of their campaign before I watched the TV show, because I really want to get into playing D&D, but I don't know how to play it. So I thought, oh, okay, I've heard that this is really famous, and so I started watching it. And then like in the YouTube comments, people were saying something about The Legend of Vox Machina, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then I went and found it, and I was like, oh my god, it's an animated TV show, let's watch it. Brilliant, so cool, so fun. My favourite character has to be Keelith. Like, she's so cool. She's half elf and she's a druid, like, yes. Changes into animals. It's just really funny, cool. And it was cool to kind of see how they all come together. This is only the first volume, so at some point I'll be reading the second volume, and I think there's a third volume coming out later this year. So if you've seen the show and you really want to sort of delve more into it, definitely recommend this. Love the illustration, like so beautiful, colourful, and it's just more of the sort of humour and getting to know the characters. Yeah, so that's a great segue into what I watched this month. Legend of Vox Machina, brilliant, sensational, amazing, loved it. Other thing that was sort of currently airing was Euphoria, which I don't think it really needs an introduction. It's just a bit batshit, isn't it? Like, nobody's school experience is as wild as that, I hope. This season was a lot more, I don't know, like it felt, I mean, it's a dark show, but I don't know, like the whole thing with Rue's addiction, blimey, sensational acting, brilliant cinematography, and I think it was also cool to get to know Lexi's character more, because she was sort of, I mean, like it says, she was the observer, she didn't really do much in the story, so her arc was quite cool, and the play that she puts on was like pretty cool. But other than that, I don't really know what to say about the show. Like, it's really brilliantly shot, very inventive, has obviously this very dreamlike quality to it, which makes it just a little bit cooler than your average sort of high school drama. Anyway, the best thing I watched this month though, hands down, has to be The Leftovers. I've been meaning to watch it for years, like literally when it came out back in 2014, and I don't know why I just didn't. But yeah, this month I pretty much just binge watched all 3 seasons within a week, and let me tell you, that was a bit of a ride. So the premise of the show is that 2% of the worldwide population just one day mysteriously disappear. The opening scene is really great. So there's like this woman with a crying baby that she's taken to the laundrettes, and then suddenly it stops crying, and then she looks around and sees that it's gone, and then just chaos ensues. So pretty kind of, I don't know what I would do if I witnessed just people disappear. It's crazy. But then the show follows like a small group of people within this town. One of them is Kevin Garvey, a police officer, and how he deals with the aftermath. I think then it cuts to like 3 years later, and it follows him sort of trying to keep the town together. There's this cult that's sprung up. They're really fucking weird. And there's a lot of religious undertones to it. So, I mean, obviously when something like that, if that did happen, you would get a lot of people go into faith, because literally how can you explain that? And it would be quite scary, but it's really a fascinating character study on religion, cult of personality, delusions, and whether are people really delusional, or is it a higher power, or are they just sort of clasping at straws to try and make sense out of it. The final episode broke my heart. I literally cried for most of it, and I think it was done sensationally. Some of the episodes, like there's a couple of episodes that are literally some of the best moments of TV I've ever seen, and that's saying something, because I love shows like Hannibal and Dark, and some of those shows had perfect episodes and perfect moments. But yeah, this really is up there on one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. It's very deep, it will make you think, and potentially have a bit of an existential crisis, which I am like in the midst of an existential crisis, so watching this was a very strange choice, but I think it actually helped a bit, like put things into perspective. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Might as well just enjoy the ride. So they're like the 3 TV shows I've been watching, and then movie-wise, you know what, I don't even know whether I watched any movies this month. I might have watched like a few rom-coms, but I can't really remember what they were. But the main thing I've been doing this month is playing World of Warcraft. I've become addicted. It's so fun. Like, I never used to play I mean, I used to play games when I was like a teenager, and then I stopped playing games because I thought, oh, you should do stuff. But all I used to then really do was just watch movies and watch TV shows, so it's like sitting on your ass and not doing much anyway. Yeah, so then like I decided that I needed a distraction, because I'm just like going through some stuff at the moment, so I thought I would start playing a game, and it's been fun, and it's really kind of helped take my mind off of things. Like, the world is in chaos. There is crazy, horrible shit going on at the moment. So it's a privilege to have distractions and not to be in the midst of something horrible. But yeah, so this is probably going to be the shortest wrap up so far, because I didn't really read much, didn't really watch much, and what I watched, like, I don't really know how to talk about it without spoilering. Like, The Leftovers, I think, is the kind of show that you just need to go into knowing the bare minimum and just journey with the characters, because batshit crazy stuff happens, and it's the kind of thing that you'll be shouting at the television, "What the fuck?" And I love that when that happens in TV shows or movies, where you literally just, it goes where you never expected it to go. So definitely check that out. If you've already watched it, then you know what I mean, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. This literally is the end of the video. TBR, I don't really do those because I'm really bad at sticking to what I'm reading, but I will probably... I think I might read the next book in the Foundation series, actually, or something science fiction, just to balance out, because I've got fantasy going, weird surrealist Murakami that I will be picking up. I will finish that in March this month. So yeah, maybe I'll read some science fiction as well. But other than that, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments section what you're currently reading, or if you've read something absolutely sensational in February, let me know. And I will see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.